Alright guys, those of you that keep up with what's going on in the world of AI, no doubt thanks to us on this channel, would know that Meta just open-sourced their new LLAMA 3.1 model. Exciting stuff, right? Massive full version of this AI tool is said to be state-of-the-art, which means that it is said to be better than other similar AI tools such as GPT-4 Imagine that. Considering the fact that you may need supercomputers to run the 405B model, we're thankful that Meta also updated the 70B version and the 8B version. Thanks to this, we've been able to venture into the 3 versions so that we can take a look at how powerful this AI tool may be. It may be the thing that changes the world of AI forever. As we mentioned earlier, Meta released 3 models, 405B, which is the completely new model, as well as 70B and 8B, which are the updated models from LLAMA 3. As we alluded to earlier, 405B is the state-of-the-art model, the showpiece of this new LLAMA 3, if you will. This is said to be the big model that is designed to take on competitors who gave us tools such as OpenAI and other big companies in the business. As we all may know, these big companies have their big models, which have the most knowledge or the best coding. With this, they are also great at completing other tasks such as math reasoning or using other tools. Alas, we may never experience what this full model may have to offer. Remember when we mentioned that we may need some sort of supercomputer to run it? Well, in lieu of this, Meta saw it fit to give us the updated version of LLAMA 3's 70B and 8B. We have actually been able to take a regular tour of 8B, so walk with us as we show you how powerful this tool may be. Before that though, you may want to look at the benchmarks before you make use of the system. Sure, they may not be everything, but they may be able to give you an inkling of what to expect when you dive into this AI tool. According to the table here, LLAMA 3.1 is marginally outscored by GPT-4 Omni. But like we said earlier, these scores aren't everything. Let us see how it performs. We can also take some encouragement in that the updates on 70B and 8B seem to give them a significant boost from their previous levels of performance. As great as these scores may be, we still need to see if they pass the so-called vibes check. According to some reviewers, these models may be great, but they still prefer Claude, which they referred to as the cream of the crop. With that, the vibe check is just something that you may be able to develop for yourself. Next up, let's take a look at some of these use cases that were opened up. The most exciting one to some seems to be the RAG and Tool USW, while there are still some other great ones such as the Fine-Tune, Distill, and Deploy one. For those who may not be aware, the fine-tuning feature is one that gives it specific input and output pairs to specialize the model for specific use cases relevant to you and you alone. In contrast, RAG is the use of external files and data to supplement the context window. This will allow it to be extended by creating what is known as embeddings. This is important because this is one of the rare times that such features have been open-sourced to the public. To take things further, we are also allowed to make use of the features to generate synthetic data. You can even use this data to fine-tune one model or train the other one. The potential is indeed great. It is also a bit of a shocker for all because it allows competitors to use even the 405B model to improve on their own models. Interesting, right? Especially as this will allow them to compete with Meta. It looks like Meta doesn't really care about this factor. Maybe this is because they have their core business to rely on. Well, you get what you ask for, because once Meta was released, OpenAI immediately released the fine-tuning for GPT-4 Mini. This would be the direct competitor to the 8B model from Meta. Our only guess is that they didn't want a world where people could only fine-tune these small models with Meta and with Meta alone. They just had to compete. This is interesting because about a week ago, there was a discussion based on whether OpenAI was always going to be fine-tunable. That said, GPT-4 and GPT-4 are not available for fine-tuning today. Although you'd still have to run to Meta and LLAMA for that. You'd also find that they are working on opening the GPT-4 model. This is exciting, especially as they give you about 2 million tokens for free. This is equivalent to $6. Sure, this may not sound as much in this dire world of inflation, but this should be more than enough for you to get going with this OpenAI tool. As great as this is, remember that with the 70B and 8B LLAMA models, you can fine-tune whatever you want locally. Now, let's take a look at what you and others can do with this fantastic AI tool. For that, let's take a look at this cool demo made by Jonathan Ross, one of the guys from Grok. This is a great demo because these guys are really great at running the models fast. Just take a look at this. This is the smallest model, by the way. As such, it should come as no surprise that it is the fastest as well. Further to this, we must state that those that have perplexity can make use of LLAMA 3.1405B for your search. Well, if they have a system that is strong enough to use it, that way they can check it out to see if it is better than something like GPT 4.0 or maybe even Claude. For those without perplexity, you can make use of this tool by heading over to Poe. There, you'd find that there are quite a few chatbots that you could use there. However, we must say that if you are going to use Poe, you might have to pay for a subscription. A different alternative may be to use Meta.AI. Unfortunately, this does not seem to be an option to those living in Europe. For those in the US, they may be able to make use of Meta.AI. They may even be able to make use of it locally. That said, some of the best alternatives that you may find out there are downloading this locally. You can actually search for these models so that you can download them. If you can find some of these links with instructions, that may be the best thing for you because these seem to work better than some of the other ones out there without it. We've been able to download such a model, and thanks to that, we have been able to start a new chat. For example, watch as we ask it to write an essay on penguins for us. Incredibly, this 8B model can even help us write the model locally. That's right, even without the internet, it would give you the essay you asked for. This is fantastic for those hoping to maintain their privacy as they make use of this AI tool. That said, it is still unclear as to how much information you may need to gain a workflow like that. Right now, our only guess is that this is determined by the user. With that being said, this demo shows that it is totally possible to do it once such a model is yours. Apparently, it doesn't go out for an API back to some server farm where you would have to trust some random tech company with the data and information that you provide these models with. This is especially important for those of you that are doing stuff such as RAG, which involves uploading some sensitive information. Well, in the time that we went on our little segue, our essay was completed by our little AI system. As you guys can see, this seemed to work really well. Let's also see if it would be able to run some of the prompts that we ran on ChatGPT so that we can see if it can handle it. As you guys can also see, it seemed to handle this really well. You can just copy this and put it right into Excel. It is actually amazing that it is doing this locally. Although the 8B model does show some errors, the 405B model does a fantastic job without any error. As such, some models may need some bigger models. With this, we hope you guys may be able to make the most of Meta's LLAMA 3.1. With any luck, it may change the world of AI in the years to come.